I love conversations that go in depth. I'm a fan, actually, of this kind of conversation because these are conversations that we become vulnerable, and vulnerability, in my experience, vulnerability really has become my biggest power. I
Okay.
lost my sense of self from a very young age. This journey that it was full of very deep, dark rabbit holes, very dark seasons of my life, long lasting seasons of my life of being a rebel with myself and with others, low
Hmm.
self esteem, low self worth, self destructive patterns. How about exercising some gratitude? Because this is the thing, when you exercise gratitude for the simplest things that you have in life, like a phone, a notebook, water in your
Yeah.
fridge, that is when you value life in a broader spectrum. This is when you stop being entitled, when you stop having this pity party.
When you look back in hindsight, everything is 2020. In hindsight, we make mistakes, we're learning from it. In hindsight, shaping yesterday and your tomorrow. In hindsight, it's so much clearer now.
Imagine you're caught between healing the body, the mind, and the soul, not just for yourself, but for others and even their beloved pets. Today's guest has mastered this balance through a diverse skill set, ranging from massage therapy to holistic life coaching and more. Blanca Rodriguez is the CEO of Wounded Healer LLC, with nearly 2 decades of experience in massage therapy and a lifelong dedication to helping others. Welcome to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm Lee Jones, your host, and let's get into it. Hey, good morning, Blanca. How are you doing today?
Good, and yourself, Lee, is so happy. I am so happy to start this day with having this wonderful conversation with you.
Oh man, thank you so much, and likewise, it is
Thank you.
definitely a mutual feeling. I'm glad to have you on the show. I've actually been looking forward to talking to you. I've been looking at some of your Instagram posts, and it's always such a positive vibe, and I just really enjoy it. So I was looking forward for a few weeks now to talk to you, and here we are.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. What a joy and an honor for me it is to be here. So happy to be here. Yep.
Awesome, thank you so much. So where are you calling in from today?
I am calling in from Southeast Florida. I am 2 hours north from Miami and
Hmm.
2 hours south, literally, from Orlando. So I'm in the middle of the good stuff, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a small town, no hustle and bustle, no
Yeah.
traffic jam. So it's good. It's good. Yeah, grateful.
Yeah. I tell you what, I live in California. We talked about this already, but I didn't tell you specifically. I kind of live in a growing town, but it's small relative to like LA, and
Hmm.
it's away from everything. But the problem is right now it's growing, it's exploding. Houses coming up everywhere, going up everywhere. Traffic is a mess, and I have to go through the mess to get to my office in another town. So enjoy your time away from all the hustle and bustle,
Yes,
because I
absolutely.
thought I thought I did the same thing, but obviously I did not plan that out too well.
Well, time passes and
Yeah.
things grow, and the small town that it used to be a smaller town here where I live at is growing and growing as well. But it's like, well, I mean, we got to roll with the punches sometimes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is Hindsight the Podcast. So not only are we going to talk about the amazing work that you do and helping other people out with different massage therapy, holistic approaches, and things like that, but I also want to talk about your journey. So I will ask you certain questions. You can be as in depth or shallow as you like in your responses. The more we are able to show the things that we've gone through, the more we get to know and understand that we all go through things. That's the goal. You're at a point
Thank you.
where you're a master at what it is that you do, but you didn't start off that way. So with
That's right.
that introduction right there, with that expectation, just tell us a little bit about yourself and before you became the amazing person that you are today.
Thank you so much, Lee, for that.
Yeah.
And I love conversations that go in depth. I'm a fan, actually, of this kind of conversation because these are conversations that we say everything, we become vulnerable, and vulnerability, in my experience, vulnerability really has become my biggest power. And
Mm,
this is part of vulnerability, is showing who we really are, our authenticity, and how important in this world, authenticity has always been, but now more than ever, because we are in a society that everything may be fake, may be real, maybe yes, maybe no. Where is this going? The so-called influencers have such perfect lives, and look how many of them, their life are ending too early in life. And it's like, well, that's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure. That's a lot of pressure that people put on themselves, and I did that as well. And I explain. I am Puerto Rican, from Puerto Rican parents. My parents did this big exodus of Puerto Ricans moving to New York City in search for the American dream. And this was in the late 50s, early 60s. I am old school. Yes, I am. And I'm happy about it. I love it. And my father, he really conquered the American dream. He was a successful business owner of the apartment building where we live in Brooklyn. He had two other businesses. Everything was great. Everything was good. And then tragedy struck. My father was killed in his jewelry store where he was making a living to support the family. And that is when the downhill spiral started. It was
Yeah.
back in the early 70s. I come from a Puerto Rican culture at that time, as at least it was, shh, you don't talk about the dead. Don't talk about the dead. That is too painful. So you don't talk about the dead. That's the best big mistake that I encounter and that I experienced in my life. Okay. Not having that sense of support, not having that sense of, of camaraderie, support, somebody being there for you. My poor mother, God bless her. Upon the death of my father, she went into a downhill spiral of profound depression, and she never recovered from it. My mom had chronic untreated mental illness until she was finally treated at age 79. So you can see where this is going. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had done a lot of research, and I love research. I am very curious. I'm geeky about that. And research shows that 2/3 of all children in the planet will have some kind of very traumatic experience, whether it is a traumatic past, the violent passing of a loved one, being bullied in school or by family members, and or sexual assault. I experienced all three of them by the time I reached 9 years old.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
this was a very traumatic experiences. When kids grow up with traumatic experiences, carrying that trauma and not really working on it, our brains are developed differently. This is proven. I'm not making this up. So upon that, my mother going into a deep depression, the culture of you don't talk about the dead, and of course it was the time that mental illnesses were taboo. Mental illness meant that basically your life is over. And the treatment for mental illness was one pill fits all. And the more of a horse tranquilizer these patients had, the better off they were. And that was that was the reality of that time. I lived around the whole menu of mental illnesses for my entire natural life, starting with my mother. But my mother, it was not limited to my mother. This was a family affair, and I am not kidding you. It was the schizophrenics, it was the PTSD. Of course, it was anxiety, depression, many kinds of depression. And then fast forward with my mother specifically. She is 93 years old and she has advanced stages of dementia. My mother didn't take care of her mental health. It led her straight to dementia. And it's very hard to see. I never thought in my entire life that I would see the day when I will be changing my mother's diaper. Okay.
Right.
And for those of you that are caregivers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I live in Florida. My mother lives in Puerto Rico, and I visit too so my sister can take a break. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I go and be the caregiver for 5 days of my life, 4 days, 6 days, whatever the case may be. And that is a horrible picture that nobody wants to see. And this is when lack of self-care really, really takes people directly to these issues. With that said, I grew up around a lot of instability, a lot of feelings of abandonment, neglect, I was bullied tremendously. I am the youngest of three siblings. I was the youngest cousin out of 26 cousins. This is big,
Oh,
huge
yeah,
families, okay?
yeah.
And I was bullied left and right, starting with my mother, my uncles, my siblings. I mean, it was a family affair, all right? And one of the things that really marked me, and now I laugh about, it was this phrase: shh, shut up. You talk when the
Mm,
chickens pee. Imagine that. Yes, imagine that. Is that undermining? Is that humiliating? Is that shameful? Is that, I mean, that is when you lost your sense of self. And I
okay,
lost my sense of self from a very young age. All right. But little did
okay.
I know that this journey, that it was full of very deep, dark rabbit holes, going into very dark seasons of my life, long lasting seasons of my life of being a rebel with myself and with others, low
Mm,
self esteem, low self worth, self destructive patterns. I was looking for the outside because I was looking for love and support and love and support. And all I was doing at that time, of course, was repeating the generational trauma by
yeah.
being in unstable relationships, being in relationships full of domestic abuse. That was me with my relationship with the father of my kids. We were addicted to each other. It was a relationship of
Yeah.
codependency. He died a drug addict. I was addicted to him, and I had massive issues with drugs and alcohol myself. And this was my 20s and my early 30s until I had kids. When I had
Mm,
kids, I became a mother. And of course, this is, everybody has a very different story of their lives, but this is my story here.
yeah.
When I had my kids, I didn't give life to them. I didn't leave. They
Okay.
gave me a second chance in life. I
Mm,
could have easily been the statistic of either her partner killed her and two kids were left behind with no parents, or she OD'd in drugs and the two kids were left behind. Okay, that could have easily been my story, but
yeah.
I changed the narrative. And
Good.
change is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Change is a constant. From the moment of conception to the moment of our passing, we are changing. Change is unavoidable. And change is like breathing or sleeping. We don't go without. This is a reality of who we
Yeah.
are. And change for me at that moment in time was the biggest blessing and the biggest miracle that happened to me. And from then on, I asked to myself, even when in the midst of all of this silence, all of the trauma, all of the being way too much in a comfort zone of abuse because I didn't know any better, it
Hmm.
was time for change. And when I would see the sorrow and the confusion in my kids' face, that's when I said, I see myself in their mirror at that time,
Hmm.
in their
Yeah.
age. And that was one of the biggest wake up calls in my life. Then I went to school for massage therapy. That was another huge wake up call in my life. One of the biggest miracles, one of the biggest investments that I have done in my life. And not only because I changed my career, is because
Yeah.
it changed my life. It changed
Mm,
entirely my vision of what good healthcare should be, and and my vision of how my self-care will be from now on, because I know the effectivity of this practice. It's been around since 3000 BC for a huge
yeah.
reason. And
Yeah.
from
Yeah. Yeah.
then on, this beautiful career has just taken me to beautiful places, like getting out of my comfort zone, writing a co-authorship, being successful at it, and then from there embarking into speaking, into educating people. I've been a fitness instructor for 40 years, a professional dancer for 30 years of my life. I still teach to this
Oh, wow.
day. I'm going to be 59 years old next week. So I'm very grateful to my body for still being here, giving me good service to this time, because I destroyed this body a lot. I had
Yeah.
self-destructive patterns for a very long time, and it was decades upon decades. But this is the beauty and the miracles of our bodies. We are capable to replenish. We are capable to recover. We are capable of healing. And when
Yeah.
I finally stop running away from my trauma, from my low self esteem, facing my responsibility for my own actions, because the wounds are not our fault, but the
Yeah.
healing is our responsibility. We're fully responsible for who we're going to be in life, period. There's no other way. We're not going to be sugarcoating this, man. We're not.
Well,
Oh, yeah, and then after that, it's been only forward from there.
uh-huh.
I have a beautiful relationship with a man now. I've been 12 years married for a man that I call a gentleman. He is,
Okay.
yes, yes. It's like that was the definition of a gentleman, my husband. So yeah, he's taken. So it's very good, and the healing is for the rest of my life. These are profound wounds. These are the things that go deep, deep down to to the deepest of your soul. And
hmm
the healing, it takes time. You will be healing forever, and it's okay. It's about how you confront these triggers that happen and may happen and do happen. How are you gonna work around them, and especially how are you gonna help others through your story? And this is why I'm here. This is why you're here, because we share something very beautiful in common, and is talking to as many people as possible so we can
hmm
help them improve their quality of life, no matter what age we are.
Blanca, I tell you what. Wow. What comes to me when I listen to all of that is that you never really know a person's journey, what they've been through. Because I see you right now. I see you on Instagram. I see this wonderful person.
And
But behind all of that, like hindsight, like you had a lot of trauma
yeah,
coming up as a young lady, as a
mhm,
kid. So
absolutely.
so one of the things, leverage other people's realities. You still are who you are. You still have had those experiences. And those experiences are probably what helps you to make your decisions today. Understanding. So what is an important, and you named a few, but what is an important lesson that you learned early on in your life that you still carry with you today?
I learned since an early in life. I learned about teamwork, and it was through my
Mm,
mother and my father, both of my parents. They united forces, and this is why my father was a very successful businessman in New York City, in a world that they really didn't understand. But my mom, it was an era of mom stays home with the kids and dad goes off to work to provide for the family. But if it
okay.
wasn't for my mother's teamwork with my father, he would not have been the successful man that he was until his death. He really was a phenomenal human being. He will always help others. He always, this is something that I remember since I was a little girl. And that is
hmm
something that you take for the rest of your life, for the good or the bad. You take things for the rest of your life because you see them at home. And in my experience, the love for music and dance started at
Yeah.
home. My parents were avid music lovers from with music from all over the planet. Okay, and this was the big band era. It was the era of mambo music, and then tango, and then Brazilian samba, and so many different kinds of music. And I learned that with them, and I still, till this day, I'm embracing it. And with my parents, teamwork, I still embracing this to this day. And of course, caring for others, laughter,
Yeah.
happiness. Yes, I learned humor at home. Yeah, it was humor, laughter, pranking, and my father was a big fan of that, and so was my mother. So they shared this beautiful bond in common about teamwork, laughter, music, abundance, until if physically my father didn't provide that anymore because he wasn't there anymore, but that stayed
Yeah.
for the rest
Yeah.
of my life. And right now that I am helping others improve their quality of life, I'm helping others, because that's what my father did, that's what my mother did. Even with her chronic mental illness, my mother will always be doing her best to help others as well. So that is something that
Yeah.
it really, really is a great companion of mine till this day. Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I love it.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So, what initially drew you to a career in massage therapy? Was going through the lessons that therapeutic for you as well? Like, what was the decision? How did this decision to go to massage therapy happen?
Yes, absolutely. I always been a helper. I learned it at home, just like I told you, and I
Yeah.
always been in different industries that it was about helping people and giving a service. Like I was a waitress for a very long time. I was a banquet waitress. I was a professional dancer, so I provide people with entertainment. So it was
Okay.
providing services that will be good for people. And I was a travel agent. And the last thing that I did before massage therapy was I was a secretary and an executive assistant. And when I moved to Florida over 20 years ago, I said when I move to the US, I am
Hmm.
going to restart. I am going back to school and I want to do something different. I was 38
Restart.
years old with two kids in an abusive relationship. Let's remember that,
Yeah.
okay? And what brought me to massage therapy, it was that I was always interested in something that had to do with physical therapy, going further into helping people feeling better. Because when I was a dancer, there was a massage therapist that he gave me a treatment for a migraine once
Mm.
and it disappeared. And I was like, oh my
Oh
God,
wow.
this is so powerful. And
Yeah.
after all of those years, I wanted to be maybe a physical therapist. But to be honest with you, I am not a college person. I am not into 4, 5, 8, 10 years and no damn college for nothing. So I went back to school for massage therapy. It was a year and a half. And I said, that is straight down my alley.
Right.
Get to the point. Let's get it done. Let me get certified and let's do this. And that's exactly what I did. The journey was more rockier than I thought it would be, but it
Hmm.
was a learning experience. And massage therapy, I keep on learning. It keeps me interested. It keeps my mind growing. It keeps my skill growing and my craft
Wow.
growing because we have the obligation here in Florida to do continuing education. If we want to keep our Florida licensing, we do CEUs, and that I absolutely love. And then after all of these years of being a massage therapist, I have wear and tear. Okay, I've been doing this for almost
Yeah.
20 years of my life. I have wear and tear, and I have high mileage. Okay, I have wear and tear with all of my previous professions. I fell down 3 million times. When I was a dancer, I fell on my elbow, I fell on my wrist, and besides my massage therapy, that is a very highly physical job. Okay, this is a
Yeah.
very, very physical job. And it was time for me to a change, and my change came in the form of a co-authorship. Actually, I wrote my
Okay.
co-authorship for a book called Impact Leadership with Blanca Rodriguez, available in Amazon, of course. And that was
Plug.
another door that opened for me for other options in life, not losing the fact that I am a massage therapist and I'm here to help others heal. And massage therapy is, this is the literal definition. The massage therapy is the manipulation of soft tissue or muscle with the
Hmm.
purpose of healing or relaxation. Okay. So
Okay.
I've been a healer for a long time. I
Uh
know the
huh.
results. I know the results because I am not only a therapist, but I am a receiver. Very important to practice what we preach, okay? Because there will be bogus and fake.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just received a massage before this podcast. So I'm like,
Oh wow.
yes. Oh yeah. And I feel renewed. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
So with massage therapy, with all of this knowledge, interacting with tens of thousands of people in this career, I decided to open myself up and tell my story in the form of a chapter in a book. And this
Okay.
is what 29 other co-authors from all over the world, from all walks of life decided to do. And we decided to do this in unison.
Hmm.
And very powerful stories of really, really falling down and picking ourselves up. And I am one of those people, definitely. And the publishing company told me, if you want this powerful message to reach the masses, you need to talk to people about it. And that was the beginning of my next
Mm-mm.
chapter in my life that I will keep on doing all the way to my passing, is talk to people, be a speaker, be a Toastmaster, and talk to people about the benefits of having better quality of life, how your bodies can really keep into great shape just by having a massage, doing a lot of physical activity, of course, and exercising more emotional intelligence, because our brains are
Mm-hmm.
the rooting of what happens in all of our bodies. Okay. Without this brain functioning
Yeah.
properly, everything else will fall apart. All right.
Mm.
My mother is the biggest example of it, that she never took care of her mental health or her brain function, and she has advanced stages of dementia. So you catch my drift there, you know where I'm coming from. And
Yes, yes.
Wounded Healer LLC, Wounded healers, wow. We are people that our traumatic experiences in life enables us to help others wear their experiences as well. And this is like gasoline to my body. How we turn around the traumatic experience, being the victim of the situation, it's all everybody's fault, and
Right.
the why me, okay, this why
Yeah,
me
yeah, yeah.
damn question that does
Yeah.
no anybody no good, okay, that
Right.
you're just gonna go into a pity party that you don't need in your life. I was there, I promise you, I know what I'm talking about, okay. All right, so when we change the narrative, Lee, about what we want to do in life, about the changes that we really want to do, and how we can help others
Yeah.
with my experience of 47 years of silence. My family, my sister, my best friends, they knew about my real story through reading a chapter in a book. That's how
Hmm.
secretive, that's how I was in the shh that I
Yeah.
grew up with. Okay,
Yeah.
I copied, and oh, I delivered. Oh my God, I was so good at hiding things, at hiding
Yeah.
emotions, at pretending that my life was so cold, so functional. Oh, I'm rocking it. Right. That
Yeah.
really wasn't the case. I was functional. But
Mm.
now life is about thriving, not surviving. I survived many years, many years, many decades of my life, since I was 8 years old all the way to my early 50s. I was surviving. And of
Mm.
course, the many miracles came along the way to keep on pushing me towards thriving, which is exactly where I am today. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. And thank you for the question.
Hey, Blanca, what you mentioned functioning.
Hmm.
Give me your definition of functioning, because not traumatically, but personally, I equate it to, like, so say right now I had like two root canals
Hmm.
and it hurts,
Hmm.
or or you walk around and you're sick and
Hmm.
you still have to go to work. So those are the two, usually some sort of health thing, right? And I'll say I'm functional, but I'm not 100. Yours is totally different. So what is your, because you've got some underlying things that are happening back then.
Hmm.
And the reason why I'm bringing this back is because a lot of us do it.
Yeah.
A lot of us do it all the time. You look and you think, "Oh, look at this perfect child, or look at this perfect relationship, or look at this perfect," because we're putting on a face, but we're dying inside, right?
Exactly.
So give me your definition of functioning, and just go a little bit more into that, and why it's important for people to understand what functioning is and how to get out of that, and
Hmm.
actually attack it. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was operating in functionality for so long and so long and so long that it definitely was my way of life for a very long time, many decades of my life actually. And this is what we call surviving, not thriving. It's like
Mm-hmm.
right now you have two root canals, it is hurting, but you still keep on going. And
Yeah.
yes, and this is what we call thickening of the skin. Your skin thickens with experiences. Your skin thickens when you are rehearsing and somebody lifts you all the way up there. You fell on your elbow and you just keep on going. I will deal with
Yeah.
the swelling later. I will go to my PT later. That
Mm-hmm.
was me. In my experience, it was functioning. I was a group fitness instructor showing up with a face of happiness, and nobody knew how much I was devastated inside,
Mm.
how much of
Yeah.
an abuse I was receiving on a daily basis, and how much of a turmoil and a hurricane of bad emotions my life was. So I was showing up, being functional because I didn't give up. And when
Mm.
not giving up comes into play, that is when functional really comes in handy, okay? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be there. But then this is the duality of things. You can get way too used to being functional, like I did for many decades of life, or you just had a root canal. It is hurting like hell, but I know it's gonna get better because I'm gonna take care of that pain. I'm going to put some warmth. I'm going to put some cold in there so I can take care of it. I am going to sleep on a different way because if I side sleep on it, it's going to hurt versus sleeping on my back and it'll heal. This
Yeah.
is when good functionality comes into play. I have sciatic issues since my 20s, okay? The sciatic nerve is the longest nerve of our bodies. It goes from the root is from the lower back and reflects all the way down to our toes. My sciatic
Mm-hmm.
nerve has been glitchy and wanting to wake up. Sciatic nerve pain is bad. Okay,
Yeah.
it's bad. So what did I do? And I've been functioning all week long. I did my job, I did my thing, very active, going to the gym, and here we go. Go to the gym and do things that work for you because the sciatic nerve is waking up. Don't go ahead and do weight training and tighten up those muscles because those muscles are already starting to get spastic. Listen to your listen to your bodies, okay? But this is when you keep on going and you're doing something functional
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
a better outcome. Okay, so there's two types of functionality. You function because you're hiding underneath a nice happy face and
Mm-hmm.
functioning, and versus, okay, I have a sciatic issue, I'm going to be functional and I'm going to take care of it. That is the good functionality. Now
Right.
the good functional is I'm surviving the day over and over and over and over, and okay, I'm functional, I'm surviving. No, this
Yeah.
is the positive functionality is about helping yourself thrive and feel
Mm.
better and keep on
Mm.
going versus the functional of I'm surviving. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So, all right. Wow, you give me a whole lot. We're unpacking some stuff. So, you deal with helping people and you deal with helping animals, correct? I don't think we brought that up yet. How do the two areas complement each other in your healing approach?
Yes, absolutely. As I said before, we do CEUs to maintain our licensing here in Florida. So
Yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
to do something different, a whole brand new continuing education for my career. It's like this is the beauty of my career that I learn something new every single time, and it's totally new. So it's great. So I've always been an animal lover. All my entire life, since I was a little kid, I love my birds, the turtle, the dog, the cat, the horse, you name it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, except roaches and snakes and crocodiles. There's crocs here. So yeah. So I keep away from those. That's
I
tortoise.
hope.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope so.
Yeah, you're over there, I'm over here. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Hey,
So
really, really quick. I'm gonna jump in front of you.
yeah.
Puerto Rico. How long? When did you leave Puerto Rico?
I lived for 29 years of my life in Puerto Rico. Yes.
What part? What part?
San Juan.
San Juan. I
Yeah.
remember. Well, it wasn't in San Juan. I believe it was more near Ponce.
Yeah.
I can't remember the city that's kind of close to it. Anyway, I was there
Yeah.
and I saw a lot of wild horses.
Yeah.
And that was crazy to me. You talk about horses and crocodiles, so I was looking at the two different dynamics, Puerto Rico and in Florida.
Yeah.
But I loved Puerto Rico. I just wanted
I'm
to say
glad.
that has nothing to do with this conversation
Oh,
at
that's
all.
fine. I'm glad you love it. I love it too. I love it too. Yes. Yes. Muy bien.
Now,
Muy bien.
but I understand. No, we had a guy who lived there, and he lived up on the top of a mountain. Took us up there, fed
Mm,
us well, played
love
pool
it.
outside. It was just a great experience. Okay, go
I'm
ahead. Thank
glad.
you.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope you go back to the island because there's a lot to see in the island. One
Oh
trip is
yeah.
not enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no,
Definitely.
I was there about 6, 7 times, so
Oh,
it's a good
love it.
spot.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. Of course, of course. So, being that the avid animal lover that I am, I wanted
Yeah.
something different, and that is when I saw equine massage or horse massage.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, I'm interested. The horses are so beautiful. The horses are so big. The muscle mass is gigantic. And I'm 5'3". I'm intimidated. So I said, okay, well, I guess it's like, oh man, damn, I'm going to have to let go of that. And until I saw a dog massage magazine somewhere, I opened it up and there it was. Do you want to get certified as a canine massage therapist? And I was like, me. And it was in Sarasota in the West Coast here of Florida. So
Uh-huh.
I went into 100 hours of certifying myself as a canine massage therapist. A few $1,000s later, one of the best investments I have done in my life, and I
Mm.
absolutely love it. I've been massaging dogs for 9 years already. I have worked on puppies all the way to end of life, and it's a
Mm.
beautiful experiences every single time that I work on the same dogs. It's always a different dynamic. It's a whole different experience. Their response and their reactions to massage therapy is absolutely powerful. Any kind of animal massage therapy has been around since 2700 BC. Okay, this is a very
Mm.
ancient practice as well. It's not as well known here in the Americas because it's pretty young. It's been here only since the 1970s. And equine massage is more well known than canine massage therapy. And this is
Okay.
the thing. Canine massage, a lot of people say, nah, when you massage, I massage my dog. Oh, I massage my dog every day. No, you pet and you rub your dog every day. Canine massage is not rubbing and it's not petting. Canine massage is massage. There's a reason why I invested thousands of dollars in going to school, and it's not for petting a dog. I know how to pet the dog. I've been petting dogs since I was a little kid. So it's a whole different practice, one from the other. And for us humans that we have experienced any kind of massage in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly the same experience that your dog will have. And this is the thing, us and dogs, we are mammals. We have organs, body systems, nerves,
Yeah.
arteries, chemical reactions, emotions, and of course, muscle mass. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's one thing very important that we share with dogs is that the first sensation that we have in our bodies upon birth is the magic and the miracle of touch.
Yeah.
So do puppies.
Mm.
Okay. Touch
Mm-hmm.
is the first sensation that both humans and dogs experience. And this is when massage therapy is a powerful practice since very ancient times.
Yeah.
Your dog will have better quality of life with massage therapy, just like us humans have better quality of life with massage therapy. The same great effects of massage therapy that we experience is the same great massage therapy that our dogs will experience. You don't go to whoever says, "Oh, I know how to massage," and no, well, okay, massage me. No, no.
Yeah.
You need a professional to work on your dog. I have taught people the basics of canine massage because it's highly effective for the bonding between human and animal. It's a win-win situation. You both go into a very relaxed state, and who doesn't need to relax in this world that has so much craziness and everything is go go go? So
Yeah.
it's a,
Yeah.
it's a it's a win-win situation for animal lovers, all of you out there, to learn how to massage your dog because it's a beautiful experience that you will never want to stop having. I have helped people that have service dogs on how to massage their dogs, and service dogs, these are working animals. They're
Yeah.
working for their human 24/7. They're not supposed to be touched for a reason, because they will get distracted and they won't be able to be paying attention on servicing their human. Okay. So for all of you that see the word service dog, don't touch the dog unless the human companion says, okay, touch my dog. Okay. Ask for
Yeah. Yeah.
permission.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's very important. And I have taught people how to massage their dogs, and I provide the services of professional canine massage therapy. And of course, I volunteer for a platform called the Pet Cottage. And this platform
Yeah.
is protects dogs that have lost their human companion or because of deployment. And I volunteer with them. They give permanent housing to these dogs. These dogs don't have to be going from place to place, going into no-kill shelters or kill shelters, whatever the place may be. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a beautiful thing. I worked as well with a no-kill shelter, and I will go in cages with animals that were abused, neglected, abandoned. I
Mm.
mean, going to horrible situations. And when
Wow.
I am telling you that 95% of these dogs receive the massage from a stranger with love, affection, and they needed that support in a chaotic environment. I never seen as much abuse as animals as I did there. Okay, and I'm not gonna go into the
Yeah.
details of it because it's
Yeah.
pretty devastating. But my miracle was that I could put my hands on as many as them as possible, and the
Yeah.
same effects were there. I delivered, and they loved it. So yeah.
All right. So for us pet owners, pet lovers, us petters and rubbers, what's what's one thing, because we're not trained, we're not skilled massage therapists.
Mhm.
What is something that everyone should know to do with their dog that is beneficial for both of us?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. After a day of work, whatever the case may be, the first thing that you do is that you calm down, okay? Before you're gonna put
Mm-hmm.
your dog on the lap or beside you to do a very light massage. Okay, and
Yeah.
this is crash course 101. I got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
put some nice music, put the volume low. Okay, our dogs have a powerful sense of hearing. They don't need to have anything loud. Okay, so put the volume as further down as you can, because whatever your heart can hardly hear, they will hear it 20 times more than you. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
you can put nice music. And
Wow.
the most important part is that you are in a state of calmness. Okay, and
Okay.
if the dog is too active and too hyper, you know what? There's nothing a treat cannot do. So it works out. It works out. The most important part here is that if your dog doesn't like their ears to be messed around, the tail to be messed around with, or the patting of the paws to be messed around with, and you're
Mm-hmm.
the human companion, don't touch. Respect
Yeah.
the dog's boundaries. Would you like to have someone come to you and mess around with your face when you don't like your face to be messed around with?
No.
Exactly. So that's the
No.
same exact thing with our beloved dogs. So what I have always recommended to all of my people is that you start from the crown of the head,
Okay.
very nice, gentle, light touch. That is how your dog will relax.
Okay.
Okay. The more repetitive the touch, the better the dog will be, and the more you will relax with the dog. It's a beautiful bond. So you go ahead from the top of the head. Don't touch the ears, the ears alone. And you go on a nice, slow, long stroke from the top of the head
Mm-hmm.
all the way down
Okay.
to their tailbone. Okay? Light touch. Remember, massage therapy is all about muscle mass, never the bone. You leave the bone alone. And if you have a bony dog, don't touch their skeletal, don't touch their spine. It's very, very they're hypersensitive to that kind of touch. So leave the spine alone. Okay. So
Okay.
you
Good.
touch on the sides of the dog. If the dog is sitting, I love when my dogs just sit. They turn their back on me, right? Oh, they know what they're doing. They turn their back on me. They sit, and I grab if it's a big dog, of course. I grab the dog,
Uh-huh.
from the top of the head all the way on a nice, slow, long stroke all the way to the tailbone. Okay,
Hmm.
makes sense? Of course it does.
Yes.
That's why it's not rubbing. That's why it's massage, because otherwise all you do kneading. You knead the
Yeah.
dog, and kneading is fabulous, okay? But if you have a hyper dog and you do this on your dog, the dog will get even more hyper, just to let you know, okay? So you
Hmm.
go on a nice, slow, long stroke, very light touch, okay? And when I say
Okay.
light touch, a quarter. Okay,
Okay.
the weight of a quarter, and you know that quarter hardly weighs anything. That's it. With, let's say, a Chihuahua,
Okay.
smaller dogs, even lighter. Okay,
Okay.
hardly any touch, because dogs are
A
beings of
dime.
energy. Okay, and
Okay.
they don't need a lot to feel that touch. All right, so yeah, so that is just one of the things. If your dog is okay with you touching the tail, then here we go. This is the tail of the dog, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you go in a long, slow stroke and until you're done. The longer and the slower the stroke, the more of a state of relaxation your dog will go into, and you
Nice.
will with the dog as well. Dogs love music. I mean, in Spotify,
Hmm.
there is a lot of playlists that is like sleepy dog, relaxation dog. Oh, and it's music for the dog. There's music for cats. Oh my God, it's a plethora of information, and I absolutely love it because it really does set the tone. And then again, lower that volume down, bro. Come on, you don't. It's not the club here, all right. Yeah, exactly. So lower the volume. Nice, slow, long stroke. Start with the top of the head and leave the face alone. Don't mess with the face. Don't mess with the ears. Don't mess with the patting of the paws. And if your dog is like this with the tail, don't touch the
Yeah.
tail. Okay. The
Okay.
tail is
Okay.
for language, people. The tail is for language. The tail has 5 to 15 extra flexible vertebrae. There's hardly any muscle in there. It's a very hypersensitive area. And
Hmm.
I cringe every time that somebody grabs the tail of the dog, or the grandbaby child, and or the child takes the tail, and it's a game and it's funny. It's not funny, and especially for the dog. So be aware, people, that if somebody's messing with the tail of the dog and the dog responds with a bite, don't blame the dog, okay? Because it's your
Okay.
responsibility to avoid the tail of the
Yeah.
dog. Don't touch. The tail is for balancing and language.
Language.
You want to know how the dog is feeling? Check on the tail, learn about how the different forms of the tail is, and you will
Yeah.
know in which state your dog is at. Okay. The more informed we are about something, the better it is to understand.
All right. We didn't talk a lot about holistic health, but for those considering a career in holistic health, like what advice would you give them for building a practice that truly serves the community?
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
build from the ground up. Be patient. When I went to school for massage therapy, the commercial said, "Do you want a booming career in this and that?" And then you're in this illusion that you're gonna graduate, get certified, and there's gonna be a red carpet, a plethora of people that want you to be there. That's not true. You have to knock
Okay.
on doors. You got to work on as many people as you can, grab bodies as many as you can. Same
Okay.
thing with canine massage therapy. Same thing with fitness for people, with fitness instruction. I didn't
Hmm.
start with having a whole bunch of people in a classroom. I started with 2, 3, 10, 50. Okay, so it's
Got it.
you climb that ladder, but be patient and trust the process. And something very important, if you really want to pursue a career in holistic lifestyle, you got to be willing to invest of your money or a lot of money in learning, in
Okay.
in learning growth, because the more you learn about different things and different aspects about what holistic lifestyle entails, the better you will be. Okay, I have invested, this is not spending, invested tens of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars over the course of
I
almost
like it.
20 years that I've been a massage therapist alone, because with Canine Massage it was 3 grand more besides the hotel, the food, and the driving. I'm 3 hours away
Right.
from Sarasota, and it was worth every single penny. And then when I went into holistic life coaching, was 10 grand more to get certified as a holistic life coach. But I go to the best. Okay, make
Okay.
sure that whoever you are learning from, these are the
Mm-hmm.
best in the market. Okay, the best out there. Because I was looking I was looking at an ad just the other day that said become a life coach for $47. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
you pay
Yeah.
$47 for a life coaching. That's exactly what you're going to receive. $47 of somebody learning to be a life coach. And it's much more than that. Okay, I
Okay.
invested 10 grand of my very
Yeah.
hard work earned money, because there was no Pell Grant, no nothing. This is out of pocket. And it
Yeah.
was worth it. It was worth it because I'm not only investing on helping others attain those goals that they've been putting off for many, maybe decades, years,
Right.
and they're
Right.
succeeding at these goals, but maybe not succeeding at these goals have a much deeper rooting. And this is when a real life coach really gets into play to help you with going much more deep into the rooting of what is the root cause of you not getting this done. What is the root cause of you not going to the gym? What is the root cause of you not cleaning your home? Some things that may
Mm.
be as simple as, but it goes much more. It's like, don't judge the book for its cover. Okay,
Yeah.
this may have
Okay.
a whole lot of other meaning and rooting than
Yeah.
just, oh, my house is a mess. Okay, oh, my house is a mess. It's been
All right.
messy. Maybe you've been living with a person that was a hoarder, and a hoarder has profound mental illness issues. Okay, so this goes much further than that. It's like, oh, my let's say, for example, oh, I'm not gonna work out. It's like, nah, that's too much for me. My body doesn't like it. And maybe the root cause is I am terrified of stepping into the gym because I have major body issues. Okay, so
Mm.
so
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
it, it
Yeah.
can go
Got
much
you.
much profound than that. And this is why learning from the best is super
Mm-hmm.
important. And of course, keep on educating yourself, because the more knowledge you have on
Mm-hmm.
something, the more you will be able to help others in their journeys as well. But it all starts with you. Okay, super important.
All right. So quickly, speaking of the professionals or the people who know about these things, can you share really quickly, 2 to 3 tips on maintaining mental and physical well-being for the listeners who may be going through some challenging times?
Absolutely. When you feel that there's no hope, pray. Okay, prayer
Yeah.
and meditation. I have a great teacher of mine that he says that praying is talking to God, and meditation is listening to God.
Mm.
It is
Mm-hmm.
highly effective in my life. I don't go without prayer or meditation. How about exercising some gratitude? Because this is the thing, when you exercise gratitude for the simplest things that you have in life, like a phone, a notebook, water in your
Yeah.
fridge, that is when you value life in a broader spectrum. This is when you stop being entitled, when you stop having this pity party. Oh, I don't have those shoes. Oh, man, my life is a
Yeah.
misery today. Okay, and you have 20 other pairs. Okay, so please look at the bigger picture. Okay, and third and most important, change is a constant. Adapt to change and make change for the better. And of course, we cannot control everything in life, people. All right, I
Yeah.
love the saying of we plan and God laughs. God has been laughing at me and with me for many, all my life. God has been, it's like, bro, you and I, we have a dysfunctional relationship, but we still love each other. You know that, God. Yeah. Yeah. When things don't come out the way we want it. So please be
Right.
very cognizant that we cannot control everything in life, and do yourself a favor. Trust the process. Yep.
I love it. Thank you. Great tips. And how can the listeners connect with you and where can they find out more about your work?
Oh, absolutely. I am on all social media platforms. I'm in Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, Threads, LinkedIn, which other one? Oh well, many of them. Yeah, and check me out because I love social media platforms are such an important platform to deliver the good stuff in life, to be authentic in your word, to tell others it's like, hey, I have messed it up a lot, but I'm still here
Mm,
for a reason, and I'm gonna give you
yeah.
some tips of what works for me. And who knows, maybe what works for me, it resonates with you and it'll work for you as well. So my website is www.woundedhealer.us. And as my gift for all the listeners out there, because please don't do it alone, bro, I'm here for you. I am giving all the listeners a full 1 to 2 hour complimentary life coaching session. No compromise, no judgment. You want to walk away, but what with one coaching session alone, it can help you. Okay, and
Yeah.
one is better than nothing. Okay, so don't do it alone. Don't do like I did for many years. Get a life coach. I have a life coach for 3 years and I won't go without. He is a
Yeah.
beautiful investment in my life too. And I openly admit it. And a life coach should have a life coach.
Yeah.
And if you hire a life coach at the service of this person, ask them, do you have a life coach? And you will know where to go from there. Okay. So
Right. Okay.
yes, so this
Okay.
is my gift for all the listeners, and I am so grateful for this conversation, Lee. What a powerful one, and I am so happy to be here.
All right. I am too. Thank you so much, Blanca, for sharing your journey and look, your insights with us today. We've touched on everything from holistic healing and community service to the importance of resilience and compassion in your work. And for the listeners, if you want to continue hearing these inspiring stories and insightful conversations, make sure to subscribe to Hindsight the Podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you, Blanca. And don't forget, go out, get that 1 to 2 hour session. All right.
Yes, please.
And Blanca, looks forward to seeing you. And I'll look forward to seeing you on future episodes. Continued impact for your work. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining me here on Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And while I have you here, why don't you take your mouse, go over and click on that subscribe button? No, not right there. Over to the right. No, down, right there. Boom. Thank you. Now, thank you for subscribing to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones.